Hey, I'm back this time with the first time ever with a video about how I store my Bath & Body Works products. I've never done a video like this before, primarily because I don't really feel like I store them in a way that's necessarily interesting. However, I am very particular and organized with how I set up my collection when it's not being used. And it just so happens that in the past couple of weeks, I have had a few people comment that they would like to see this video, so I'm just here today bringing this to you. So I'm sorry if it turns out that the lighting is not great. I'm in my second bathroom right now, and I do have a light above me, but it's one of those lights where if you turn it on, then the fan comes on too. Like, it's one of those. So it's not on, so I am just kind of working with some odd lighting right now, but this is what I've got. So yeah, like I said, I'm in my second bathroom. I live in a 2-bed, 2-bath apartment near downtown Kansas City. So yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at. So let's go ahead and get started with how I set up my stash in this particular apartment. So I am in a cabinet that has 3 shelves. This is a cabinet that just goes above your toilet, like one of those kinds of cabinets. So yeah, I have this in the second bathroom, and this is where I just kind of commandeered this space and just put all my Bath & Body Works in it. So I'm going to start over here with the left bottom of the cabinet. So this is anything that it is still, or anything that's still needing to be used up out of my current Bath & Body Works challenge. So right now I have about not quite 5 weeks left of my fall challenge for Bath & Body Works, and this is just what I have left. So I'm not going to go really into the weeds with this because I do that in other videos. But yeah, anything that is still waiting to be used up from my challenge goes here. My only exception is hand soaps in this particular cabinet. Because of the way that I have it set up, I don't have space for my hand soaps. I mean, I bet I could squeeze them in now because I have so few of them anymore, but I have found that I've been keeping my hand soaps that are in my challenge in my kitchen. So I'm not going to bother showing those because there are just a few left. And like I said, I will go into details with my challenge actually pretty soon for November 1st. But yeah, that's just what I got right now. Again, this is everything from my challenge that has not been used up except for hand soaps. To the right of that, this is where I keep all of my fine fragrance mists. So I do have this really random room spray. It's just the room spray that I'm using in my bath right now. So it's a tiny bit out of season, but I'm actually really loving the Crushed Candy Cane room spray. It smells really good. So like whatever, I'm really not that passionate about room sprays. I just really like this one. So anyway, so this is where I keep all my fine fragrance mist. For the most part, not totally, but for the most part, they are arranged by fragrance. So that's why my Beach Nights is like all the way to the front. And then I have shorter columns, I guess, of fine fragrance mist. So that's not totally true, but for the most part it is. Again, I've got, you know, my berry waffle cone. This is an exception. So Twisted Peppermint. Behind that I have my honeysuckle and peach tea. I do have a couple wild honeysuckles. This is another exception where I have an ice pear margarita, and then behind it is actually a fresh gardenia. Another exception here, blueberry sugar pancakes. Behind it, I've got a couple at the beach. Beach Nights is always a good one. Midnight Pomegranate, got my 1 in a million. And then finally, this is my last exception where I do have this butterfly. And then I have a couple of black raspberry vanilla behind it. So like I said, I do have exceptions here and there where I only have like one of a particular fine fragrance mist, but if you've been with me for a while, you would know that with my fine fragrance mist, I tend to just stock up on the ones I really love, and I get through my singles kind of quickly. So I just didn't have the space to put every single fine fragrance mist that I have in its own little column. So I just kind of grouped them also by color, and that's how I wound up with this. So I would definitely like to cut this down, and I think that I can certainly make that happen. But yeah, that's just what I'm working with. Up here to my second shelf, this is clearly where I have all my shower gels. So up front are the shower gels that are either singletons or I'm thinking about using them in an upcoming challenge. So like my 1,000 Christmas Wishes, my In the Stars, 1 in a Million, Buttercups and Berry Bellini. I'm envisioning using those in my winter challenge. Behind all of them, I have a couple of shower gels that I'm gonna probably use up in the spring, and then I have other ones like my Midnight Pomegranate where I have multiples of them, and I'm currently finishing up my Midnight Pomegranate, and that's gonna be the only one for the year. So I'm just kind of putting them in the back if it'll be a moment before I use them up. So really my goal is to be organized with color and by item type, but also when I think I'm going to use it. So again, I envision using up these 4, plus more in the winter, and then I do have a random blueberry sugar pancakes over here, and then a coconut pineapple. So that's just what I'm working with. But by the end of winter, for sure, I will have more space in between my shower gels and this stuff over here. So the only part of my collection that seems a little bit out of place and just like randomly there is my scrubs. I typically don't have that many scrubs at the same time. So I just have my 3 of gingham and then a few from the summer from aromatherapy that I just kind of have like there. Again, these 3, I don't know if I'm going to put all 3 of them in my winter challenge, but again, they're at the front because I will very possibly use them up like relatively soon. Behind that is where I keep all of my body creams. So if you have not seen my channel before, if I have the electrical tape on my products, it means that I recently-ish moved them. So all of my creams that I still have are ones that I moved from Denver. So I wrap them in electrical tape. I usually don't bother to take off the tape until I'm ready to use it. So this is an exception where I just kind of grouped them by fragrance rather than by when I'm going to use them because I have so few of them. So the one that I envision using up next is going to be a berry waffle cone, which I'll probably use up in about February or so. But again, I have so few of these that I would still want to keep them by fragrance, but I'm not so picky about having like the ones I'll use first up close. Like it's really not that deep for me sometimes. Sometimes it's not that deep. And then finally up here is where I have my body lotions. Same kind of thing with my lotions in the sense that I usually don't have a whole lot of singletons. I think the only singleton that I have is a pearberry, and the rest of these are just multiples of like bourbon, strawberry, vanilla. I've got a couple of beautiful days. I've got a ton of beach nights and hello, brain fart, midnight pomegranate. So again, with my lotions, you've seen it in my collection video where it's really just a bunch of repeats. I'm getting that way a little bit too with my hand soaps, and I keep them up here in the top right. So these are all the hand soaps that are not currently in a challenge. Like I said, I do keep my challenge soaps in my kitchen just because I don't have the space for them otherwise. But again, really not that special. I just kind of group them in general by fragrance. So I do have a number of What's the Scoop. So those are all grouped together. I do have a couple of the Once Upon a Lime. You guys know that I do have several still of the Your Excellent Coconut Lime Verbenas. So they are grouped, like I said, in general, kind of by color, and also by if I have multiples of them. So this is how I store my Bath & Body Works. Like I said, to me, it's not especially like novel or sexy that I've got them here in my bathroom, but this is just how I do it. I'm just really particular about organization, and I'm kind of the same way with my closet. Like if you follow me on Instagram, by the way, and you see the outfit of the days that I do, my closet is also quite organized. So yeah, this is it. I just kind of like the aesthetic of having multiples of the same fragrance, as long as I like that fragrance, all together. It just looks very clean and nice and organized to me. And I like the idea of knowing that I will create some space and knowing that this bit over here that's in my challenge will continue to get smaller and smaller. It just feels good to see that opening up of the space as I go through my collection and document how I do that. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. I may do another one of these in about 6 months or so. Maybe this will become like a semi-annual thing that I do. But yeah, that's it from me. I hope that you enjoyed. As always, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And like I mentioned, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Schoolhouse of Iron. I'll put that down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.